When I say Asians, y'all say with attitude. Asian!
With attitude!
Asian!
With attitude!
Asian!
With attitude!
Asian!
With attitude!
The tipping point was when Grandpa Vicha, the old time man in San Francisco, was pushed and died. Imagine if it was your dad, your grandma, your grandpa.
My grandma's getting attacked!
I don't imagine. That is my dad. Grandpa Vicha is my grandpa.
Stop Asian hate! Stop Asian hate!
Asians with attitude is exactly what it says. Asians who have attitude. We're pretty unapologetic. We are who we are.
Asian with attitude, we out here now, baby. And when people ask me why I do this, I'm gonna say like this, because I give a fuck.
When I first patrolled, they ran away from me. It hurts me so much because they didn't know who I was. This lady ran for her life, and it hurts my heart because I'm trying to protect you.
Jimmy Boone Pensy, nicknamed JB, is a truck driver from San Jose, California.
Another dude got beat up on the damn train, got choked out. Nobody did shit. I don't care what race it was, nobody did shit.
In early 2021, JB began patrolling the streets of Oakland's Chinatown every day after work.
Something has to be done. I couldn't just sit back and not do anything about it.
He puts in around 30 hours a week and named his patrol after a social movement called Asians with Attitudes, AWA for short.
I've been doing this since February 4th by myself, and I got the whole team with me. Like, we're really on the street walking, so we try to spread the word to come join us because the people need you, you know?
Since then, the group has expanded to about 20 people.
Hey, be safe out there, bro.
For sure.
Since the start of the pandemic, attacks against Asian Americans have been on the rise. And San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose have been hotspots for attacks where Asians make up the largest minority group. Oakland alone recorded at least 20 incidents across 2 weeks in February of 2021. Feeling they've been left to fend for themselves, several community-based vigilante patrol groups have formed. But AWA is the only group who patrols into the evening.
What I do is I walk around and make sure all the stores are closed safe. I won't leave until every single store is closed. We offer rides. We walk them to the bus stop or an escort.
Okay, bye-bye.
Everybody in my crew has a 9 to 5. It's all volunteer.
I've been out here since 2 o'clock. We're really out here, man, you know what I'm saying? So, can't stop, won't stop, you feel me?
Here's the flyer. Here's the information. I try to be the lubricant between the community and AWA because a lot of them are Laotian and Cambodian and they don't speak Chinese. But as soon as I talk to these shop owners or whoever and I'm like, oh, they're here to help, immediately their eyes light up. They're like, oh my God, really? That's great.
A lot of times, tragedy is what brings people together. Through JB's actions, AWA just became a movement. The sparks was already there, he just exploded it. We're having a big rally on Saturday.
It's good, like Asians have to voice out.
Yeah.
I think that is very important, especially Chinese.
Yeah.
They really like scared.
We're stronger together, you know?
The Asian community is going through a lot of suffering. No one's shopping in the community. Everybody's scared to come out. Everybody want to close the shop early. The police is not doing enough. It's all over the news, top story, and why they're not around.
Before starting the patrol, JB didn't know anything about social media or activism, but now sees an opportunity to expand the scope of AWA, using it to bring greater awareness to issues facing Asian Americans, while also bridging divides within the community itself.
I wasn't really like book smart. I'm new to everything. I mean, every single thing. I'm just a regular guy working 12 hours a day. I never thought I would have to step up and become this person I am today. I wish I could go back to town to read more, to be more educated, so I would know about a lot of history of how things run and like political stuff, so I could have a better understanding of how the world works, how it functions. I bring this AWA movement, just like the Black Panther, did make a name, and I respect that. To show that we could come strong like this, yeah, why not? Take it to the streets and let our president be known. Take it to the White House and be known. A voice has to be known.
I can't just sit back and not do anything.
This is the time.
I believe for the Asian community, Bruce Lee was like, in a sense, our hero growing up, you know? You don't see too many Asian stuff in football teams, basketball teams. Defeat is a state of mind. No one is ever defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality. Bruce Lee. Doesn't that kind of play in part with everything that's going on? With all these hate crimes? That's why I stand up. That's why I choose to stand up and never sit down. I was born and raised in the east side of San Jose, California. That's the side where it's filled with poverty, crime, you know, violence. I was introduced to the gang life by choice. I got arrested at the age of 17, and I did about 8.5 years incarcerated. I went to prison.
Kevin says he was drawn to the gang life for a feeling of acceptance, a feeling he says was difficult for him to find at school.
Growing up, we didn't see history about us in the books. If you ask me what I knew about Cambodia or our culture, all I knew was the colors of the flag, and I knew that Angelina Jolie loves our country. She really does. She went over there and adopted a few babies. I didn't have Cambodian role models until I went to prison.
While in prison, Kevin studied Asian American history and learned about his own Cambodian roots.
Hello, mommy. How you doing? I just was amazed by how much I didn't know. Knowing my history helped spark the change in me because I started to learn where I came from. I felt so fucking bad. Had I known what my parents had already went through, I probably wouldn't have done the things I've done. As long as I'm Asian, no one will ever give up on this fight against hatred and racism and ignorance. So donuts, man.
Many businesses in Chinatown have welcomed the presence of AWA. Some Chinatown business leaders believe that robberies and break-ins have been reduced, but some community members aren't as sure. Kevin says AWA members have gotten hate mail and death threats.
AWA is a movement, it's not a gang. You know the vibe, Chinese, Vietnamese, Cambodian, Asians with attitude, baby. We were the first ones out there in the field that says enough is enough.
Usually when I wear red tones, it's like when I'm ready to fight. At least with the younger generation, like they're all fired up. We can start teaching them more of our own history because that's when you start to see the patterns of how systemic racism happens, how narratives are.
The public image of Asian Americans has passed through various stages in U.S. history as politics and the economy have changed. In the mid-1800s, immigrants from Europe and Asia were perceived as a serious economic threat to white Americans, especially in California. Asians were portrayed as inferior and threatening. By the 1960s, though, the myth of the model minority began to take hold. Asians started to be glorified as industrious, law-abiding, and obliging, which permeates still today. But the model minority myth allowed society to ignore the struggles and barriers many Asians face.
喂，爹哋點啊？你今日有冇休息啊？定喺鋪頭啊？
係休息，今日禮拜5，有咩事啊？
哦係喎，啊我猛咁諗住今日禮拜六、禮拜日啊。
哎呀，都唔掛住爹哋嘅。
掛住，而家咪 call 你咯。你喺鋪頭啊？忙唔忙啊？
My dad's been attacked, my uncle's been attacked, like I've been verbally assaulted. It's been happening for a long time. Ask anybody, any immigrant from New York, anybody from San Francisco. Bye-bye.
Okay.
I've seen so many times firsthand how America treats us different because of just the way we are. My dad is so strong. He came here with nothing and had to work so hard to be able to take care of his family. And to see somebody treat him like he's nothing, it's like, I know how America treats our people. Because I think we're always brushed aside. It's like we're constantly gaslit. Like, your issue isn't as bad. They throw the model minority shit, and I'm just like, what model minority? Have you been to Chinatown? Do you know how much of us are under the federal poverty line?
The model minority myth is also the idea that non-white Americans can be academically and financially successful if they just work harder.
When they say, oh, Asians are the top earners, blah, blah, I'm like, okay, but like, which Asians are you talking about? Like, I don't know any of those Asians.
Experts argue that this myth is also used against Black Americans, dismissing systemic disenfranchisement and racism in favor of personal failings. In effect, if Black Americans only worked as hard as Asians, everything would be fine for them. Growing up in America, Jen says it was Black people who taught her the language of social justice.
These are just the Asian American victims.
From them, she found the answers to her feelings.
First book I read where I was like, oh my God, this speaks to me, was Malcolm X's autobiography. It's like, eye-opener.
Because of your indoctrination and brainwashing, you point the finger of scorn at us and tell the world that we're not ready for freedom.
I could feel the gaslighting, America gaslighting me, but I didn't know the words of how I felt. But Black America is the one who taught us that, right? And they're the ones who taught us to look at ourselves as people, not just to look at myself through white people's eyes. We owe so much to Black folks. Yo, Jeff, do you have any feelings you want to talk about?
What the fuck? Our parents, especially as immigrants, they come here with the mindset of stability. And that means eating a lot of shit. Our parents make the choices that they have to and do the things that they have to so that we can make the choices that we want and do the things that we want to.
It's kind of like our parents feel like this country, they're guests here, but we feel like this country belongs to us. So that's why we have a seat at the table.
Maybe it's just finally coming to a head because our generation, we're not going to keep quiet.
If you proud to be Asian, make some motherfucking noise. One of the things that we're fighting for is for Asian American studies in K through 12.
It's white supremacy that drives us apart.
Nice. I don't know, it's just a lot. I'm just really nervous.
Up here from Seattle, man.
Oh, there.
You're inspirational. Hell yeah.
Stop! Hey!
AWA hosted their first rally on April 3rd, drawing a crowd of hundreds, including members from Los Angeles, New York, and Seattle.
AWA, are you guys ready? That's what I'm talking about. Empower! Empower!
Women! As Asians in America, our parents, our women, we've been through hell and back. Fuck that shit. We're not keeping our head down anymore.
That's right!
I'm Chinese. But we got our Laotian and Cambodians out here. I'm not swole like these guys are, but they make my heart swole. It's AWA, Asians with attitudes, but we Asians with affections too.
G. Let's get it! I know, because music is universal and love is universal. You don't gotta understand what I want to say. You just gotta feel the cadence, feel the flow, feel my vibe, feel my soul. They don't care about us. Oh, my brother, sister, let me see your hands up!
Stand up for injustice 和 stand up for 不公平的待遇，就算有不同的政见和来自不同的派系，别人怎么看你根本不用太过在意。面对困难挑战新的一代，华人在这在里。
Make some motherfucking noise! Make some motherfucking noise!
I'm loud as hell.
Stand up, fight back!
It's us having the audacity to feel like we belong here and to fight, but also keeping in mind all of our cultures and stuff.
I know it's not gonna stop. That's all I can say.
The world's finally get to open their eyes and see what's going on. It's like, why do it take violence or people to die just to open up the world's eye? Why? We always been American. Asian people always been Americans.